Hi, this is Joel Cheeseman of Cheesehead, and I'm joined this morning at the SHRM conference in Chicago with, Yahoo, HotJobs. Specifically Jeff Kinder, here to my immediate left, and let me make sure I get your long title correct. Senior Vice President, Small Business and Recruitment Advertising. And next to him, Kevin Krim, who you may or may not know, we've sat down with him before in the past, is VP of Product and Strategy for HotJobs. Guys, welcome. Thanks for sitting down with us. Well, let's start quickly with a little introduction of who you are and specifically what you're doing at HotJobs.
Sure. I am Jeff Kinder. It's actually my 1-year anniversary. Just passed my 1-year anniversary with HotJobs.
Congratulations. And where were you before?
I was at Sendin Corporation for 5 years in New York City. The SHRM though my first SHRM show was last year. I was 1 week into the job. So it's a good anniversary to come back. I oversee, in addition to HotJobs, I oversee all of our small business recruitment applicants, small business advertising and services we provide. So that includes domains, hosting, stores, as well as search marketing and display advertising for all small and medium-sized businesses. It's very exciting.
That's a big market, I would assume.
A
lot of opportunity.
It is.
Great.
Hi, I'm Kevin Krim. I am Vice President of Product and Strategy for HotJobs. I've been at HotJobs a couple years. Prior to joining this, I worked in blogging and communities as General Manager of LiveJournal.com. And prior to that, Look Smart for many years doing vertical search advertising, and community content. So really excited about the convergence of some of those themes here in recruitment, and that's something we've talked about in the past. So I'm pretty pleased with some of the product announcements we've got coming out that play off that theme.
Great, and you have some product announcements here coming up, and we'll get to that in a moment. One of the things that all of these announcements are kind of encompassed by is your REAL initiative, and that's R-E-A-L. For those who don't know, talk about that initiative in general.
I'll take that. So REAL, Joel, as you know, stands for, it's an acronym for relevance, engagement, availability, and local. And we feel those are the 4 pillars of job search relevance. And so we introduced those into our job search algorithm, or introduced it as a whole new system for searching jobs earlier this year. And that was after extensive testing. And what we found was that when you go from essentially a date-ordered ranking method to this much more sophisticated ranking method that's based on roughly a decade of search research that Yahoo has done and HotJobs has and the knowledge that HotJobs has collected over those years, we found that users were engaging much more frequently and in a much deeper sense with jobs, and you were getting not only more candidates from applying to jobs, but better candidates because they were able to kind of pre-select and pre-match themselves to the right jobs at the right time. And that's been critical. So what we saw in our early testing of it was that we were getting over 25% more applicants per job. And what we've seen since is actually more than that. It compounds on itself. It's a very virtuous cycle as you get both the employers and the job seekers kind of learning this new system and understanding the right behaviors within it. It's grown on itself, and it's doing really well. We're hearing very good results.
When we first talked about the algorithm search, we talked a little bit about spamming the results and stuffing keywords. And I know there's been a few examples out there. How is that more than you thought? Less? Met your expectations? Are you attacking spam pretty effectively, or how is that going so far?
We're really happy with how it's going. I would say, spam is a common problem across any kind of search experience. I would say that we've always been probably a little more fortunate just because it's a paid only database, and so you've got a certain kind of incentive there to or rather a filter there that helps, I think, clean up a lot of things that go on in maybe web search where there's basically free to get in, and so therefore a lot more spam potential. In our case, we've used the REAL algorithm. We've also been collecting feedback from users. We let them kind of flag potentially spam-related job listings, and that combination has helped a ton. So, pretty happy with it.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, the proof's kind of in the pudding, right? It's a closed database, paid database. The proof's in the pudding, and then we're getting, more than 25% increase in click-throughs on actual jobs. When we first talked about this ages ago, I laughed because it seemed like the prior, so looked across this industry, the way many of the job search rankings would come back, it's like a LIFO system. Whoever put the last job in is going to show up on the top, and that's a terrible user experience. If anything that we've shown at Yahoo and some of our competitors in the broader search market have shown is relevance matters. And we're just incredibly pleased to leverage all of the research that Yahoo had done in the search world, apply that to the job space, put a little bit of our special sauce around careers on top of that into the algorithm, and see such fantastic results.
There was another recent release, your product Hot Hired. I want to make sure I get that clear. There are a few other Not Hired or some other sites, so it's Hot Hired is the product. And I would explain it as kind of an automated matching system, but I'm sure one of you two or both of you could explain it much more thoroughly. So tell us about Hot Hired.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Hot Hired, Joel, is it's an instantaneous recommendation of the best matching candidates to a job as that job's posted to HotJobs. So why that's exciting, why employers are really liking that product is because it offers them immediacy. So for hard to fill or just kind of urgent to fill roles, you're getting kind of instant access to great candidates from our resume database. In addition to that, it gives you exposure to just a different pool of candidates. We call them the kind of semi-passive or kind of passively active candidates, whatever you want to say, but they're folks who are obviously in the market. They've recently uploaded their resume to HotJobs, or they've recently updated their resume, but at the same time, they're not yet or have yet to find this job in the database, and so therefore you're getting candidates in front of the recruiters immediately. So we're getting great results, and particularly, you're hearing about folks who are trying to find real needles in the haystack in terms of somebody with skills and a location near where the job is, and they're having trouble on other sites finding that candidate. They upload their job, and immediately, bam, they're getting a dozen great recommended candidates from Hot Hire, and they're placing employees with it. So really excited about that. It's an add-on product to the job post or the job slot product. It's got resume view credits that you can use across multiple jobs, so very flexible in kind of how you might use it. So you can get kind of a Hot Hire add-on and then view resumes across several of your jobs. Several of your recruiting colleagues can kind of share those credits across each other. So very flexible for that medium.
So it's a per view kind of system.
Per view.
What is the cost on that?
So good question. We've got a few different levels. The kind of base level is $250 per month for 50 views per month. Okay. No rollover minutes.
No rollover minutes. Good.
What's also interesting about, I think, the Hot Hire is we've had a product in the market for over a year called Job Recommender, and that was more for the job seeker, where you would go use matching technology to help find jobs that would match their interests, and we saw great engagement and success with that for job seekers, and we started thinking about this in terms of the flip side, right? How can you do the same thing? You leverage kind of the reverse matching technology for recruiters and candidate recommendations. Those were the early kind of seeds and thoughts that evolved into Hot Hire.
Right, and it's I think important to note because the automatic matching stuff is kind of hot in our industry. You see a lot of startups, and it's important to note that this system doesn't change how you post a resume or how you post a job. Whereas a lot of other systems, it's a fairly lengthy profile, or posting your job is kind of laborious. This doesn't change how people use HotJobs at all today.
Not at all.
Good.
And it plays off of the real relevance framework, because the better you've created a job in terms of real, the more accurate and the more robust those recommendations are going to be, because we're working off of kind of a scan of that job and a scan of the resume, doing document matching, which is it's pretty hardcore computer science, but if you're following our real principles, you're going to get much better results. So there's that whole environment that we're creating around relevance.
Right. Well, it's good that you're leveraging those geeks.
Yeah.